Thanks for listening, and please give us a call with any questions, concerns, anything you may have heard. We can shed some light on it. 612-504-8400 or havenfinancialgroup.com. Set up a time to come visit with us. There is no cost, no obligation. We take people through the same process, and you get to know us, we get to know you. And maybe you haven't done that in a while, or maybe you're concerned and you're listening and go, wow, I'm not so sure what position I'm in, good, bad, or indifferent. And hey, no better time than right now.
You bet. This is the time to do it. 2025, just around the corner. And there are some changes coming in lots of different financial areas. Some you've actually heard us talk about here on the show, this show, and in shows past. Secure Act 2.0, that is changing. So first off, Larry, why don't you start by telling everybody what the Secure Act is?
Well, it was signed into law at the end of 2022. It expands retirement savings options. In 2025, workers age 60 to 63 can do some more catch-up contributions, which, in itself is probably a good thing because, if you've been lax and not been disciplined, now is the catch-up time. Maybe those kids are off the payroll and you finally took them off paying their cell phone bill and maybe the college expenses aren't as high. I'm not sure when kids go off payroll, but if you're listening, please let me know. I'd be anxious to hear. But maybe that's just my problem. No, I'm just kidding. But these changes are going to be coming into effect. There's going to be some forced savings accounts and employer plans, automatic enrollment, and really increase retirement, savings participation, because there's a lot of people that have it available to them through their employer, yet they're not taking advantage of it. And when I hear that, it's really sad. Now, I know life happens, but if there's any match from your employer, you're losing opportunity. You're losing free money. I don't know why you wouldn't take advantage of it. Now, in this, you can opt out of it if you choose to. But again, encouragement, just like we do on a weekly basis, to get these plans going through your work or on your own and catch up if you're getting behind. So, I'll let Kyle talk a little bit more of some of these other changes as well.
Sure, Kyle. Kyle Thomas with us this morning. Kyle, first off, this is not necessarily, these changes don't affect every single plan, right?
No, they don't affect every single plan because ultimately the employer has to implement these changes. Mm-hmm. They're the plan sponsor and they have to adopt these changes. The IRS just made it available for them to do so.
Okay. All right. Talk to us about some of the other changes that you're anticipating in 2025.
So some of the big ones. Well, first off, on Friday, the IRS came out with the new limits for contributions. And so for next year, it's going to be $23,500 for regular 401k contributions. And then the catch up for age 50 is going to be $7,500. And then that age 60 to 63 that Larry mentioned earlier, they're going to be able to do $11,250. So it's 150% of the regular age 50 catch up is what they're going to be able to do. And so that's a huge benefit to be able to maximize your savings in those later years of your work. And everyone is going to be participating, hopefully, right? I hope that the people who haven't been saving so much can automatically get enrolled into these plans and they can start saving and getting that compound interest that we were talking about earlier at younger ages, and they can get their savings, going for them. And, some of the best practices that I like to tell people is to increase your savings rate by 1% each year, because that's going to be a minimal difference that you see on your paycheck. But those are some of the changes that are going in there. And the contribution rate for those people that are going to be automatically enrolled are 3%.
Okay. And obviously, because you said this earlier, this is really up to your employer. So if you're listening right now and you're wondering if this is an opportunity for you, you'll have to go to your employer to learn that.
Yeah, that is correct. Consult your HR, whoever you're working with, through your employer. That's the place to start. Mm-hmm. Another benefit, I think, for those that are maybe not saved enough, or say have several 401ks all over the place, or have low account balances, there's a portability factor here where they'll be able to roll these all into their current 401k. You don't have to make things complicated. We're all about simplifying, consolidating still maintaining a good level of efficiency and diversification in the portfolio. But and just this past week, I had a IT consultants, both him and her. They had about 8 different 401ks. 6 of them were not even, they're orphan 401ks. We helped them roll that in and consolidate, and they go, we didn't know we could do that. Now, they had either severed employment or that's applicable to if you're 59 and a half. Maybe you're concerned about the market. Maybe you're not. That is an option that we'd help a lot of people with. Not that you have to roll your 401ks, but you might want to entertain all investment options. You're closer to retirement. You may want to reduce your stock market investments. It comes back to the balanced approach. And I can't tell you how many times folks come in, they're closer in retirement. They have very little in the bank, liquid, and everything at risk in the market. And somehow they think that's a good recipe for retirement. I can tell you the market, and Kyle will attest, the market doesn't go up forever. So if you're in that position, although most people don't know that position, you may want to get your portfolio stress tested. Right. Number one, to alleviate the stress. So if the market doesn't cooperate, that you're not going down with the ship. So very important.
Yep. Absolutely. Hey, Larry, let's go back to that catch-up contribution idea from 60 to 63. If you participate in that, how much could that possibly impact your retirement?
Oh, we talked the first segment about power of compounding. If you're 60 and depends upon if you plan on working, but if you live till 90, it can be very powerful. Like I said earlier, even the little bit of difference can make a big difference. So I encourage that if that is an option. And it reduces your tax liability by that amount if you're a high income earner. So there's major advantages, but it does take a discipline. There's a lot of changes that go on in the financial space, and they're going to continue. The landscape shifting. We'll see what happens, in the upcoming year. You don't have to be the expert, but rely on a partner to help you navigate through these retirement years or planning years. All the retirement puzzle pieces. Do you have all the pieces? Do you have all the tools? We talk frequently about that. And I'll just outline, Kim, our process with anybody listening that wants to come in, anybody we meet that wants to come in from our classes, anybody that comes in. We're going to sit down, again, have a discovery, get to know us. We get to know you, ask a lot of questions. From there, we can develop a strategy or evaluate, stress test your portfolio, give some suggestions, recommendations. If you choose, one chooses to, which we help a lot of people, we help implement the strategy, the initial strategy, the changes, the adjustments. And then it's not just set it and leave it. It's monitor it, make adjustments. We get older, life happens. Sadly enough, what I see just this week is I had a client that lose his job at Cargill as a consultant. And it's sad to see, in his mid-60s, no names attached, and he had racked up $31,000 of credit card debt. And you know what? Life happens. I get it. Those are tough conversations. And then I'll just, Carol Ann, who's a new client of ours, been to all of our Haven events because all her friends are with us. But she was so cute. She goes, Larry, I've come to your events for 5 years. And I really like you guys, but here's the reason why I haven't chose to go with you until now. She goes, Lester was my husband of 12 years. We got married in our 50s and 60s. Lester handled the finances, and our financial guy was in Rochester. And as much as I wanted to come over, and this is where we're not a all or nothing, 1 year, 5 year, 10 year, it's whatever life, position life puts you in. She goes, I've wanted to come here, but I couldn't leave my guy in loyalty of my late husband. You know what? I respect that. But you know what? She goes, now I know I've made the right decision. And she goes, I need your help. That's somebody being openly honest. And we appreciate her. We appreciate all the personalities that we get to help. But that's what makes our job so fulfilled. And it's why we come to work 5 days a week and really enjoy what we do, because we can make a very big difference in all of these or some of these retirement areas.
612-504-8400. That is the number you call. Set up an appointment. Go in and talk to Larry and members of his team about what you're thinking about when it comes to retirement, what you hope to accomplish. 612-504-8400. You can also go to havenfinancialgroup.com. There you'll learn more about some of those educational seminars. attend a seminar or two, learn a little bit, or find out what you don't know. Sometimes that's what we need to do. Go to educational events to find out what it is we don't know. 612-504-8400. All right, Larry. Well, you've taught me a few things this weekend, both you and Kyle.
Well, thanks, Kim. Always good to be with you. And again, listeners, feel free to give us a call, 612-504-8400 or havenfinancialgroup.com. Look forward to next week, Kim. Have a blessed week.